A few minutes ago, the Students' Unification Party, some of their members staged a protest action blocking the main streets and accusing of masterminding student brutality during the city's government, also aligning with the city's government, silencing some students when they raise issues about their rights and also seize their identity. So there are several allegations they've made against the statement. So we've come here to speak to some of these allegations. Prof, welcome to the Liberian Investigator and Focus on Liberia.
Thank you very much.
You are not before our camera. A few minutes ago, the students staged some protest. Before that, how is the office?
The office is doing good. We're in a transitional period. We have the board, overseeing activities at the university, and we're busy preparing reports, updating them on the affairs of student affairs. So basically, we're doing good.
Are we good in terms of the upcoming the exam, the final exams?
Well, we're making preparations, and I think students are coming to classes and preparing, and classes are closing now virtually. So, yeah.
Did you observe normal class?
Yes.
2 hours this day.
When you say this day, what you're talking today?
From this morning or
well, we have different campuses. So I started with Fendel campus this morning. So when this noise started, I was not around here, and I came back, and then I met them on the road. People are trying, but things have been calm.
Yeah, what did the students stated the protest?
Yeah, I got a call that some students were
So they have accused you of aligning with the former CDC government, masterminding students' brutality on the campuses of the University of Liberia, and hiding students' IDs whenever they raise some concerns about their rights, and have been reportedly abused by the University of Liberia and administration, all of claims. What do you have to say to those claims?
Well, it's unfortunate. These things are unfounded. They're baseless. I think they're just trying to amuse themselves with these kind of things, because you're talking about the reputation of somebody that have served this university for 30 unbroken years. So my reputation is intact. People are aware. Students who are, my former students who are serving in public and private sector know who you're talking with. They know my reputation. So I'm not moved by those funny allegations around here.
Also, some of the involvement with students' brutality on the campus of the University of Liberia, maybe specifically on the main campus here.
Well, to say what your involvement and responsibility as dean of students is to control the campus, to ensure that students basically who are here primarily to learn, the environment is created for them to learn. So those who are creating an environment conducive for students learning, we investigate and take necessary action against those people. If those are the ones that are talking, then of course we have no regret taking action against them if they go against the law. The student handbook is what guides student behavior on this campus, and we are only implementing what is in the student handbook.
You try to point out to some of those recent unruly actions of your students and some of the actions you've taken. If you don't mind, you share the handbook, or apparently after this interview, so look into some of those clauses that you use to take actions against them.
Well, firstly, those students we've taken action against have copies of those letters. So those letters clearly indicate what are the specific action or acts that they committed. But basically, quite recently, we suspended a student who brutally attacked a fellow schoolmate, a female student for that matter, who was attacked by another male student on a broad day, like trying to undress her. So we investigated.
Where did that happen?
On the campus.
At this campus?
On this campus. As a matter of fact, it happened just right before the Capitol building, just the entrance of the university. So we took action against somebody like that. We took action against a student who attacked a female instructor. Was caught cheating And on the basis of that, expose him, and he attacked the female instructor. We've taken action against, we've taken action against, you realize when you look out there, there was an attempt to even burn this place. You see the mark out there. There were stones thrown all around here to damage the glasses around here. Students planning for graduation for class night were stopped from doing it because somebody feels he's not satisfied and he decides to. So those kind of actions, they clearly spell out in the handbook what kind of action to take against those students.
So, Prof, you've been taking those actions on behalf of the administration. You've done to us some of those specific actions you've taken.
We do, first of all, preliminary suspension, because that's what the handbook requires.
For how long?
We say preliminary until you can show up. For example, we invite you for investigation. If you refuse to show up, we take preliminary action. We suspend you pending your, pending the fact that you realize that you need to come and exonerate yourself for, things you are accused of, among things, several things like that.
Your actions may consider a way of ensuring that proper things are done on the campuses.
Basically.
But why do you think people would really go against such good actions? When you have a better intent for the University of Liberia, why do you think those students are demanding your resignation?
Well, firstly, I was not appointed by students of this university to think that they would demand my resignation. That's the first thing. But it's always...
Do you see that impossible?
I'm not going to discuss that because I was appointed by, and approved. My appointment was approved by the Board of Trustees. So if the Board of Trustees sees a fit, that's a different thing altogether.
Okay.
I'm not glued to this place, but my responsibility is to take the appropriate action to bring sanity to this university. No, we're not going to sit and allow people to turn this place into a gangster paradise.
What do you consider gangster paradise? What is that?
If somebody attack a fellow students, that is complete gangster behavior there. If somebody takes a knife and points it at another student and seize their phone from them and attempt to naked them, what do you consider? That's gangster paradise. Then you're turning this place into a gangster paradise. We're not going to accept that. So basically, we're only implementing what the student handbook says.
What do you blame students' behavior on? Those kinds of behavior where students will come on campuses with machetes, with knives, and then attacking lecturers or professors. What do you blame those actions on? What is responsible for that?
Well, generally, you cannot discuss those things without looking at the general situation of our society. Young people are on, drugs and other things, so they do things before they realize what they've done wrong. So these kind of things are happening. So what you see happening out there is happening in here. This place is called the macrocosm of the larger society. So it's not isolated from what is happening out there, but we have to bring, this is the nation's highest institution of learning. We have to bring sanity here. So the rules are laid down. If you violate this, these are the actions that are taken against you. If you go against these are the actions taken against you.
The students during their protest minutes ago are threatening to disrupt the planned final exams that is supposed to come this coming Monday. How do you respond to that?
Well, just in furtherance of that, you say if you still remain here out Monday, the possibility of there will be an impossible administration of the national, your final exams.
Let me tell you this. I'm qualified to be here. That's why I was brought here. That's the first thing. Besides that, if those who appointed me here, the authority decide that now it's time to go, come on. That's not an issue for me. But what is key here is that if we are not mindful, we take decision here. If somebody jump out today, I don't want this person, then tomorrow. So today it's me. Tomorrow it will be maybe the president of Liberia. They will decide they don't want the president of Liberia. They don't want this person. But what we want want to bring sanity here. And in order for that to happen, you need to, in fact, speak to some of the student leaders here. This group here, this group is just a segment, all right? It's a fraction of a group. So what they're saying doesn't represent...
Notwithstanding, but they always disrupt normal activities as time on these campuses, on the U.S. campuses.
And today is one example.
Yeah, but I mean, you are media practitioners out there. These are things that happen here. And that's why we try to curtail these things, otherwise they continue.
So I was asking, how do you respond to that threat to cancel the planned exam?
Well, I think no one has the power to,
What will you do when they come on campus? Chunking rags, disrupting students.
That's why we have the national police. That's why we have the national police to put the necessary mechanism into place to ensure you control, the situation. So, since they've made these threats, we inform the government, and they'll put the appropriate mechanism in place.
They also accuse you of corruption, that you are involved in the corrupt act where students pay money for graduation and others, and you eat those money. How do you respond to that?
But that is fallacy, and people who've been watching and listening to you will tell you that it's far-fetched. Because firstly, my office has nothing to do with money in this university. This office has absolutely asked people who graduated from here 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whether they pay money to student affairs. No. Student affairs regulate the activities of students, right? If you have to pay money for graduation or anything, there's a department responsible. So you go and
What
pay.
is that department?
Business and finance. They are responsible to collect money. We have nothing to do with money business. So it's just an imaginary thing they're talking.
Do you think someone is behind their action against you today, specifically today?
Well, I hate to speculate in life. They're responsible. They're men and women enough to answer for.
Did this come as a surprise to you? To just get this morning, you see group of students?
No. We are accustomed to these things. We are accustomed to these things. People jump up because of this one. They jump and say this. They say this. There's a normal thing here.
Do you have a very close relationship with former city mayor and current Secretary General of CDC, Sekou? Did they try, linking you with him, and as you are working here?
Look, this is the easiest thing that happened in this university. When you hear, the easiest thing is to just link you with somebody and say this one. But I'm very sure when you ask Akaros, somebody mentioned about Akaros, say I brought Akaros here.
Akaros caught you the time he came here in March to this job. What happened that day? You were the mastermind according to them.
The first thing I was out of the country.
In the allegation.
I was out of the country at the time that incident happened.
But you're in communication with him according to the
problem. That's far-fetched. To say what? I don't control Akaros' grade. Yeah, he came on this campus. He came on this campus when we had a situation here. He took advantage and came on this campus. But to say that I spoke to Akaros, I told him to, that's far-fetched, man. People who are going to watch this thing are going to laugh. It's laughable.
You've been here for 30 years now.
30 unbroken years.
With your experience, what has changed at this university? What has changed that we've seen? They can't now soup. Maybe you saw in your 30-year time and in the last maybe 6 years or 10 years, what has changed here? What can you say to the viewers across the world?
The enforcement of law. We relax. In this place, for example, we used to have here, you must have a GPA requirement to remain here. If you come in whole semester and you got 1.5 or 1.7, you are self-warning, you are suspended, from school.
And good of all, you the vice president and dean of students affairs. So you could be answering the question.
No, we don't run this university in isolation of each other. This is an administration, right? I don't take a decision on my own, all right? It's administrative decision taking. But I'm saying that's one of the things. It's slack. And so people, and then besides that, I can say this. The issue of tuition free.
Okay.
That's one of the things. Because it benefits others who need it. But because there's no standard to say, hey, even though it's tuition free, but you must have a minimum of this, you know, then people will know why they're here. But whether you do it or not, I mean...
Is that a call that's coming from you that, that should be in place?
That's my personal feeling.
Okay.
That's my personal feeling, you know. I can say that to anybody.
In the absence of that, what do you think is happening? We are putting some criteria that students should meet or should retain, to remain on a tuition-free program or policy.
Well, I think because, you know, anything that is just free, it's free, it's not respected. And so there should be something attached to that thing. So there are people who are benefiting from it, and they're making very good efforts because they see this as a great opportunity for them. But there are some who they don't care, because whether you score the require or not, they say keep you on that tuition free. I think we need to, in as much as we want many of our students to take advantage of the opportunity, but we need to set a standard.
And that standard
what can you recommend?
And that standard is?
That standard is you must meet a certain GPA requirement.
So your suggestion, your specific suggestions to that effect, what would be that GPA that students should meet in your mind? Because you say you express your own feeling to that.
2.5
per semester.
Yes.
Every semester.
Yeah. That's my personal feeling, and I'm sure a lot of people think that way because it's absolutely free. People are not questioned about it, so that's why they think they can come anytime. Are
you also considering the financial burden the two? Do you think?
I agree. I've said that people who, when you say scholarship, for example, it's for scholars. It should benefit those who deserve it. Not people who just come here and they don't care what happened and they still remain here because it's free. I mean, there has to be some standard attached to it. Otherwise,
do you see the possibility of that being reversed, the free tuition thing being cancelled, maybe in the near future? That look.
Well, I'm not saying the free tuition is bad.
Okay.
I'm simply saying there should be condition attached to it, not just absolutely free. Attach a condition. There are students here who are making 4 points, who are making 3.8. So they can make it, but because you're not setting that standard on it, you just allow it to be free. So people are abusing it.
Nathaniel P. is watching. You say, for Sekou Konneh to be involved with corruption at that 100%, I have been working with him for the past 18 years. Maybe you know so that's why you're saying that.
Well, you can go and do your own sampling out there.
So Prof, sometimes people have a little saying that say, if somebody is saying, or a black man is saying, I will show you for stone. I mean, the student already in his hand and at the back. With the revelation made by the students that if you're not taking from here, from this office, or to the exam date, of course, there will be no exam being administered. Do you care to tell us some of those plans you're going to, just in case, what are some of the preparation you're going to inculcate into your...
I'm not a university.
Okay.
So there's an administration. More than that, we are in transition right now. So you have the board of trustees, managing the affairs of the university. So those decisions are discussed and they are taken where we find it appropriate. It's not about me. It's not me.
Why hasn't the university found a way to always have a kind of way of discussing issue to internally resolve them with a soup party? You always see soup, university, faculty, or administration in these kinds of things. What have you seen as being responsible for that?
Well, I think steps have been taken. Some steps have been taken. For example, this group you see talking here, like I said, it's a faction of a group, right? And they had a situation here. The rules clearly state that if your political party here, you want to have election, you must first of all write the University of Liberia. You must write the Office of Student Affairs. So they will review the ledger of all those who are applying to see whether they meet the requirement. The first requirement is that it's the grade point requirement. You must meet it. The second is that you must not have been involved into misconduct. That records are there on you. So if those things are reviewed, you're clear, then you can go. You're clear to go. That was not done by this group. So we put a halt to the whole process because it did not follow. But like I said, if people think that this place, you just do things as you feel like, no one party has monopoly over, they're controlling this place here. We have soup, we have Studa, we have Sing, Prosa, and all those groups are here. All right, so if you don't meet the requirement, of course it's not possible for you to do it. And these things we're seeing, part of it, I'm calling on, us, all of us in administration. This issue of being lenient in taking decision is harming us and is going to harm us further.
Is it happening?
Yes. It's like, let this one go and this kind of thing. So sometimes it creates its own problem. People have their own connection, people have their own sentiments and all of these things. We need to do things for those kind of things and ensure that we do what is right. Nobody comes here. I've had situations where, oh man, that suspension there is too harsh. But we have to put something in place. If we don't follow those rules, then of course.
Some time ago, you suspended academic activity. Political activities. Yeah. And now you brought them back.
They're not brought back.
So those students are doing things on their own?
Yeah.
And you allow them?
No. That's why we're taking them.
So we stay on the thing, and since maybe you watched the television, you saw the live podcast, you identify some of the students. What specific step are you going to take against them?
If you saw here, you see list of people. I'm not going to show you this. Okay. So we've identified people who are involved. Okay. So we invite them. Okay. We invite them to come and clear their names.
Great.
If you can't do that, then
you're talking about today's action.
Not only today, but just like today.
Okay.
We identify these people, we invite them. So if the refusal to come will lead us into taking preliminary action. Okay. If they show up, we accord them due process. And that due process is, you must come with somebody, one of your colleagues or somebody who will witness the proceeding. You come and we say, look, these are the things you are accused of doing.
So in other words, all student political parties operating on the campuses, they are doing those things illegally.
I'm saying student political activities it's suspended. It's suspended. So, once you go against the rules, action is taken. So those who think they go in the street, block the street, and some of these people are not even students. Some of them are not even students. I can tell you that the years I've spent in our investigation have proven that. These people go
How did they get there?
What does it require to jump inside here? You don't wear uniform, or you go wear a piece of khaki and jump here. So assume that you're a student. And that's why we want to reinforce. Part of our recommendation have been, we need to fortify this place, defense this place properly. So people come, they show their identity.
You talk about identity, Prof. Many students have spoken to the talk about, to give students an identity, that one thing has been very difficult. Every semester, I don't know, how do you do that? How many times students are supposed to get identity, or every year or every semester? How do you do that? And how often have you been issuing identity to students? Their ID cards.
We will be having some challenges, but we've done quite recently they took ID cards. And again, to take the ID cards, that's why we say this thing has to be a collective responsibility, collective work. For example, I've been teaching here all these years, I have an experience. You come to my class with all identity, you're not going to sit in my class. So the first thing I do is to ask you, you come to take tests. We've had situations where people come and sit in tests for people. So the only way you curtail that is to put this mechanism into place, identify them. Hey, you come to the class, yeah, John Brown, yeah, let me see your ID, or let me see your control sheet. Are you part of this class? You check there. If you're not part of this class, you go out. We all need to put those mechanisms in place to ensure that this is not about me. It's about the sanity. Look, if you look on this campus now, some of the young students are afraid to come. Some of these students who just graduated, young students, they're afraid to come because every day, people throwing stones. But once we have the system in place and we ensure that it's working, we curtail these things here. We're not going to have people just...
I think a member of SUP is annoyed by referring to their clothes to wear as a piece of khaki.
I'm sorry, if I'm going to call it golden khaki, then I'll call it golden khaki, but I mean, come on. That's
What's
not,
the point
that's
of
not
golden?
No, look, I want to warn the students. This is about people's repetition. You jump up because you're angry about something, then you pass around saying a lot of nasty things about other people's repetition. Oh, that man, you see, he did this, he did it, when you have no proof. These guys who are saying these things, you ask them to provide proof of these things. They can provide. But for them, they're looking for sentiment. So they just say these things about somebody's good reputation, then you think somebody will pick it up tomorrow. No.
How does it affect you personally today? I mean, on the internet, other people kept their life, your name, all those kinds of things.
No, I'm not worried about this.
Okay.
Because I know there are a lot of good people who are watching. And
There's someone was saying about you.
Yeah, the 30 years I'm talking about, I've served this university. I did not only serve this university. I taught at Cottington University College. I taught at UNU. I taught at AMEU. So students all around those places will tell you the kind of person I am. They know me to be a disciplinarian. I was high school principal before. The students know me to be who I am. So those things, I'm not moved by them, because if 10% say negative things, there will be 150% that will tell you, no, that's not the kind of person you're talking about, But there are mechanisms, and I'm very certain the interim management team is going to ensure we enforce those things. So people don't come here and just bomb off people, just besmear people's character because you think it's about job. Look, I've served this place for 30 years, man. I mean, I don't have to sit here again, I don't have to. But you don't have to go and, fabricate stories about non-repetition. But I'm not worried about this, because thousands of people in and out of this country, if you do a sample, will tell you that person is a decent person. It's not the kind of person that people are talking about.
Final words?
Well, we want to encourage our students to use dialogue. If you have issues, there's nowhere without issue, without conflict. Find a mechanism to come and sit and discuss it. The university now is only known for negative reason. Throwing stones, blocking traffic. What is that? What is that? You're not motivating other people to come to this university. Well, no, we are not scared by these things. I told you there was an attempt to burn this place here the last time, but I'm not, moved by those things. As long as I'm doing what is right, I'm not moved by those things.
Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sekou Konneh. Again, a lot of comments are coming here. Let me just read the final one. One, Ebenezer Gamoyo Green said, "A man with integrity, maybe they don't know you, sir. Keep doing keep doing the right things, no matter what happens, my brother." Thanks for following. This is Focus on Liberia TV. My name is Prince. Thanks for following. Bye-bye. I'm out.